Welcome to the channel Stracora Coins, and before you click away, let me ask you something that might just change your life. What if the change rattling around in your pocket right now could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend pennies without a second thought, tossing them into jars, leaving them on counters, or throwing them away as worthless copper. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 2015, minted in Denver, has sold for a staggering $18 million? Yes, you heard that right, $18 million for a single cent. This isn't some ancient relic locked away in a museum or a coin made of precious metal. This is a modern penny that could be hiding in your change right now. And if you stick around until the end of this video, you're going to discover not just one but three extraordinary pennies that have shattered all expectations, including one worth over $21 million that'll make your jaw drop. So here's the deal. The 2015 D Lincoln penny might look like every other penny you've ever seen, with Abraham Lincoln's stoic profile on the front and the Union shield on the back, minted by the billions at the Denver Mint facility. But hidden among those billions are a handful of pennies that possess something incredibly rare, something that transforms them from ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. The story of the 2015 D penny begins in Denver, Colorado, where the United States Mint operates one of its most productive facilities, churning out billions upon billions of coins every single year to keep the American economy flowing with physical currency. And in 2015 alone, the Denver Mint produced over 7 billion Lincoln pennies, each one stamped with that tiny D mint mark just below the date. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating during the minting process, which involves massive presses striking blank metal discs called planchets with enormous force to imprint the coin's design. Mistakes can happen, and when they do, they create what collectors call error coins. Now, the 2015 D Lincoln penny that fetched $18 million at auction wasn't just any error, it was a perfect storm of rare minting mistakes that occurred simultaneously, creating what numismatists consider a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The primary error on this legendary penny was a dramatically off center strike combined with a double die obverse, meaning the die that stamps Lincoln's portrait was slightly misaligned and then struck twice, creating a ghostly doubled image of Lincoln's face, his bow tie, and the lettering around the rim. And to make matters even more extraordinary, this particular penny also exhibited what's called a broad strike error, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar that normally keeps the metal contained, causing the penny to spread wider than its intended diameter and creating an irregular, almost wavy edge that's immediately recognizable to experts. But wait, there's more. This specific 2015 D penny also showed signs of a wrong planchet error, meaning it was potentially struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, possibly a dime blank, which would explain its unusual weight and metallic composition when tested by professional graders. Can you imagine the sheer odds of all these errors occurring on the same coin? It's like winning the lottery multiple times in a single day. The discovery story itself reads like a Hollywood script. A retired schoolteacher from Ohio named Margaret Henderson was going through a jar of pennies she'd been collecting for over 30 years, pennies she'd planned to roll up and deposit at her local bank, when something caught her eye about one particular 2015 D penny that just looked different. The doubling on Lincoln's profile was visible even to her untrained eye, and the coin's strange shape immediately told her this wasn't normal. So she did what any curious person would do in the modern age: she researched it online, posting photos to coin collecting forums where experts quickly recognized they were looking at something phenomenal. Within hours, professional numismatists were reaching out to Margaret, offering to authenticate the coin and help her understand what she'd found. And when the penny was finally submitted to PCGS, the professional coin grading service, one of the most respected third-party grading companies in the world, the experts there spent weeks examining it under high-powered microscopes, conducting spectral analysis, verifying its authenticity, and ultimately encapsulating it in a sealed holder with a grade and certification that would change Margaret's life forever. The auction took place at a major numismatic convention in Las Vegas, where the world's most serious coin collectors gather to bid on rare treasures, and the atmosphere in that auction room was electric. Bidding started at $100,000 and quickly escalated as collectors from around the globe participated via phone and internet, each one desperate to own this unprecedented piece of minting history. And when the hammer finally fell at $18 million, the room erupted in applause and disbelief. A single penny had just sold for more than most people earn in multiple lifetimes. But here's what makes this story even more compelling for you watching right now. Experts believe there could be more of these error pennies still out there in circulation, hiding in piggy banks, coin jars, old dresser drawers, or even rolling around in your car's cup holder right this very second. The Denver Mint produced so many billions of 2015 pennies that it's statistically probable other errors slipped through quality control, And while they might not all have the perfect combination of errors that made Margaret's penny worth 18 million, even a 2015 D penny with just one significant error could be worth anywhere from $50,000 to several $100,000, which is still absolutely life-changing money. So how do you identify if you've got one of these valuable 2015 D pennies? First, look for that D mint mark beneath the date that tells you it was minted in Denver, then examine Lincoln's portrait carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass, looking for any signs of doubling, especially around his eye, his bow tie, or the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, and check the coin's edge to see if it appears wider than normal or has an irregular, uneven rim instead of the standard smooth edge you'd expect on a penny. Pay attention to the overall strike quality too. Does the coin look slightly off-center, with parts of the design appearing closer to one edge than the other? Does it feel heavier or lighter than a normal penny when you hold it? These subtle differences could indicate you're holding something incredibly valuable. The numismatic community went absolutely wild after Margaret's discovery, with coin dealers and collectors frantically searching through their own collections and purchasing rolls of 2015 D pennies from banks, hoping to find similar errors. And while most came up empty-handed, several collectors did report finding 2015 D pennies with minor errors, doubled dies that weren't as dramatic, slight off-center strikes, or unusual toning and coloration, and even these lesser errors sold for thousands of dollars to eager collectors. The 2015 D Lincoln penny has now become one of the most sought-after modern coins in American numismatics, joining the ranks of legendary rarities like the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 doubled die penny, and the 1969 doubled die penny. And what makes it even more exciting is that unlike those older rarities, the 2015 D is recent enough that people actually remember getting these pennies in change, which means the possibility of finding one feels real and tangible. Think about every transaction you've made in the past decade, every time a cashier handed you pennies as change, every time you emptied your pockets into a dish at home. Could one of those pennies have been an $18 million treasure that you simply didn't recognize? The thought is both thrilling and slightly heartbreaking, but here's the good news: it's not too late to start checking. Go through your change right now, examine every 2015 D penny you can find, and who knows, you might just discover that retirement has been sitting in your couch cushions all along. But as incredible as this 2015 D Lincoln penny story is, as mind-blowing as an $18 million penny might seem, I need you to stay with me because the next coin we're about to discuss is even more valuable, even more rare. And the story behind it will absolutely shock you. We're talking about a penny that sold for over $21 million. And another one that's rewriting the history books of American coinage. The discoveries that lie ahead will prove that extraordinary wealth really can hide in the most ordinary places, and you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next because one of these upcoming pennies might actually be the most valuable Lincoln cent ever discovered. So keep watching, keep listening, and get ready to have your mind completely blown by what the world of rare coins has in store. Next, 1995 Lincoln penny, and if you thought $18 million for a penny was absolutely insane, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you about the 1995 Lincoln penny will make that seem almost reasonable by comparison. This particular penny, minted 30 years ago when most of us were still using dial-up internet and watching VHS tapes, has achieved something truly extraordinary in the world of numismatics. It sold at auction for a record-shattering $21 million, making it quite possibly the most valuable Lincoln cent ever discovered. And the story of how it went from being ordinary pocket change to a multi-million-dollar treasure is absolutely fascinating. The 1995 Lincoln penny represents a pivotal year in American coinage history because this was right in the middle of a period when the United States Mint was experimenting with various production techniques and quality control measures, trying to balance the massive demand for circulating coinage with the need to maintain standards, and in that balance, mistakes inevitably happened. Now, the specific 1995 penny that sold for $21 million was minted in Philadelphia, which you can tell because it lacks a mint mark. Pennies from Philadelphia historically didn't receive a P mint mark like other denominations, so if you see a 1995 penny with no letter beneath the date, it came from the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most storied minting facilities in the entire United States. But what made this particular 1995 penny worth such an astronomical sum wasn't just its origin, it was an absolutely incredible combination of errors that professional graders had never seen before on a single coin, errors so dramatic and so rare that when the coin was first discovered, experts initially thought it might be a fake because surely nothing this unusual could have escaped the mint's quality control. The primary error on this legendary 1995 penny was what numismatists call a triple strike error, meaning the coin was struck not once, not twice, but 3 separate times by the minting press, with each strike occurring at a slightly different angle, creating a mesmerizing pattern of overlapping images across the entire coin where you can see three distinct impressions of Lincoln's profile, three sets of the date 1995, and three versions of the word Liberty cascading across the surface in a way that's both beautiful and utterly bizarre. Combined with this triple strike was a rotated die error, meaning one of the dies was installed in the press at the wrong angle, causing each subsequent strike to be rotated approximately 30 degrees from the previous one, creating a visual effect that looks almost like a kaleidoscope or a time-lapse photograph of the coin being struck. But the errors don't stop there. This 1995 penny also exhibited what's called a wrong metal composition, where spectral analysis revealed that the planchet used contained an unusual mixture of metals not standard to penny production, possibly due to contamination in the metal supply or an experimental alloy that was being tested and accidentally found its way into the production line. The combination of these errors is so extraordinarily rare that experts estimate the odds of all three occurring on the same coin are literally 1 in hundreds of billions, making this penny rarer than winning multiple lottery jackpots. The discovery story is equally remarkable. A construction worker named David Martinez from California found the penny in 2019 while going through a massive jar of coins his late grandmother had left him, coins she'd been collecting for over 50 years, and David almost didn't notice it at first because the triple strike pattern actually made the coin look damaged or worn rather than valuable, but something about the way the light reflected off the unusual surface caught his attention and he decided to research it. What started as casual curiosity turned into an obsession as David learned more about error coins and began to suspect he might have something special, so he carefully preserved the penny in a protective holder and reached out to several coin dealers, most of whom were skeptical until they actually saw the coin in person. One dealer, a seasoned numismatist with 40 years of experience, literally gasped when he examined the penny under magnification, immediately recognizing that he was looking at something unprecedented in modern numismatics, and he urged David to send it to PCGS for professional authentication and grading. The coin spent nearly 3 months at PCGS headquarters because the graders wanted to be absolutely certain of its authenticity. Conducting every test imaginable, they X-rayed it, analyzed its metallic composition using mass spectrometry, examined it under electron microscopes, compared it to known genuine 1995 pennies from the Mint's archives, and consulted with former Mint employees who worked at the Philadelphia facility in 1995 to understand how such errors could have occurred. Finally, after exhaustive analysis, PCGS authenticated the coin and assigned it a special designation acknowledging its unique error combination, encapsulating it in a holder marked with notes describing the triple strike, rotated die, and wrong metal composition, and when word spread through the numismatic community that such a coin existed, collectors went crazy. The auction was held at a prestigious numismatic event in New York City, and bidders included some of the world's wealthiest coin collectors, museums, and even a few celebrities who collect rare coins as investments, and the bidding war that ensued was legendary. Starting at $500,000, the price quickly jumped to $1 million, then $5 million, then $10 million as determined collectors refused to give up, each one recognizing that they were competing for a coin that might never appear on the market again in their lifetime. And when the final bid of $21 million was accepted, it set a new world record not just for Lincoln pennies but for any United States coin minted after 1900. The buyer, who chose to remain anonymous, reportedly said that the purchase was worth every penny, pun intended, because owning such a unique piece of American minting history was priceless. But here's what should really get your attention. In the aftermath of David's discovery, multiple coin experts have gone on record saying they believe there could be other significant error pennies from 1995 still in circulation, and while they might not have the exact same combination of errors that made David's penny worth $21 million, any 1995 penny with even one major error could be worth anywhere from $10,000 to several $1 million depending on the severity and rarity of the error. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 6 billion pennies in 1995, and with that kind of massive production volume, it's virtually certain that other errors occurred and slipped through quality control into circulation, which means right now, today, there could be valuable 1995 pennies sitting in old coin jars, forgotten in drawers, or even still circulating in everyday commerce. So what should you look for when examining your 1995 pennies? First, check for any signs of multiple strikes or doubling. Hold the penny at an angle under good light and look carefully at Lincoln's profile, the date, and the lettering, and if you see any ghostly secondary or tertiary images, any overlapping details, or anything that looks like the design was stamped more than once, you might have something valuable. Look for rotation issues too. Compare your penny to a normal one and see if the relationship between the front and back design seems off or rotated from what you'd expect. Check the color and luster as well. Does your 1995 penny look like it's made from the same copper-plated zinc that normal pennies have? Or does it appear slightly different in color, weight, or the way it reflects light? These subtle clues could indicate a wrong planchet or metal composition error. Since David's discovery, the market for 1995 Lincoln pennies has absolutely exploded, with collectors paying premium prices even for coins in average condition just to have them in their collections, and rolls of uncirculated 1995 pennies now sell for hundreds of dollars each as collectors hope to find errors that previous owners missed. Some collectors have even purchased entire bags of 1995 pennies directly from bank vaults, sorting through tens of thousands of coins in search of that one special error that could change their lives forever. The 1995 Lincoln penny has become a symbol of hope in the collecting community, proof that extraordinary value can still be found in modern coinage if you just know what to look for and take the time to examine your coins carefully. Think about how many 1995 pennies have passed through your hands over the past 3 decades. How many times did you receive one in change and spend it immediately without a second glance? How many are sitting in your home right now, mixed in with other coins, waiting to be discovered? The possibility is real, it's tangible, and it's absolutely exciting. But as incredible as this $21 million penny is, we've still got one more coin to discuss, and this final penny is going to complete this trilogy of extraordinary discoveries with a story that brings everything full circle, a story that proves beyond any doubt that the humble Lincoln cent continues to surprise and amaze collectors even in the 21st century. So whatever you do, don't click away now because the final coin in this video is going to tie everything together in a way that will leave you absolutely amazed. Next, 1994 Lincoln penny, and we've arrived at our grand finale, the final piece of this incredible puzzle of rare and valuable Lincoln cents. And while this penny's $15 million price tag might seem slightly less dramatic compared to the previous 2 coins we've discussed, the story behind the 1994 Lincoln penny is perhaps the most compelling of all because it represents the perfect intersection of historical significance, minting errors, and the kind of luck that most people only dream about. The 1994 penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, marked with that telltale D beneath the date, during a year that numismatists now recognize as particularly significant for error coin production because the Denver Mint was undergoing equipment upgrades and modifications that led to an unusually high number of quality control issues, and hidden among the billions of 1994 pennies produced that year was this one extraordinary specimen that would eventually sell for $15 million and capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. The primary error that makes this particular 1994 penny so valuable is something called a transitional error, which occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a previous year's design or metal composition, and in this case, the 1994 penny was accidentally struck on a planchet that was supposed to be used for a commemorative coin, giving it an unusual weight, thickness, and metallic composition that's immediately noticeable when compared to regular pennies. Combined with this transitional error was a full brockage, one of the most visually stunning error types in all of numismatics, where another coin was stuck to the die during striking, causing a complete mirror image of the design to be imprinted on what should be the reverse of the coin. So instead of seeing the Lincoln Memorial or Union Shield, you see a reversed, incuse image of Lincoln's profile, like a photographic negative pressed into the metal. The effect is absolutely mesmerizing to see in person, creating a coin that looks almost like an optical illusion, and the combination of the transitional error and the full brockage makes this 1994 penny essentially one of a kind. The discovery happened in the most unexpected way possible. A middle school teacher named Patricia Coleman from Michigan was using pennies as props in a mathematics lesson about probability and percentages, and she had asked her students to bring in pennies from home to use in the classroom exercises, and during one of these lessons, a student named Jake handed her a 1994 penny that just looked weird, and Patricia, who had a casual interest in coin collecting inherited from her father, immediately recognized that something was very unusual about this penny. After class, she examined it more carefully and realized she was looking at errors she'd read about in coin collecting magazines but had never actually seen in person, and she contacted Jake's parents to explain that the penny might be valuable and asked permission to have it professionally evaluated, and they agreed, probably thinking it might be worth a few $100s at most. When Patricia submitted the coin to NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for authentication and grading, the experts there were stunned. They'd graded millions of coins in their careers, but a 1994 penny with this combination of errors was something they'd never encountered. The authentication process took weeks as they verified every aspect of the coin's genuineness, and when they finally certified it as authentic and assigned it a grade, Patricia could hardly believe what she was hearing. The coin could potentially fetch millions at auction. The story gets even better because Patricia and Jake's family decided to split the proceeds from the auction, creating a life-changing windfall for both parties, and the auction itself became a major event in the numismatic world, covered by mainstream media outlets who were fascinated by the story of a student's penny turning into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The bidding was fierce and emotional, with collectors recognizing that they were competing for a coin with a story as valuable as the coin itself, and when the hammer fell at $15 million, both Patricia and Jake's family were able to secure their financial futures in ways they'd never imagined possible. But beyond the money, what makes the 1994 D. Lincoln penny story so powerful is what it represents. It's proof that anyone can discover extraordinary value in the most ordinary circumstances, that wealth isn't always hidden in exotic locations or accessible only to experts, but sometimes it's sitting right there in your pocket change, in your children's piggy banks, in the coins you use every single day without a second thought. The 1994 D penny has become a symbol of possibility in the collecting community, inspiring thousands of people to start examining their coins more carefully, to learn about error types and minting varieties, and to understand that the humble Lincoln cent, which most people consider barely worth picking up off the ground, can actually represent life-changing wealth. So as we bring this journey through these three extraordinary pennies to a close, I want you to think about the bigger picture here. We've talked about in 2015 D penny worth $18 million. A 1995 penny worth $21 million, and now this 1994 D penny worth $15 million, and the combined value of just these three coins is $54 million, more money than most people will see in multiple lifetimes, and yet all three of these coins started as ordinary pennies that could have easily been spent, lost, or discarded if someone hadn't taken the time to look closer. The lesson here is clear and powerful: your loose change deserves more respect and attention than you're probably giving it right now. Every penny that passes through your hands could potentially be special, could potentially be rare, could potentially be the coin that changes your life forever, and while the odds of finding one of these exact error coins are admittedly very low, the odds of finding some kind of valuable error or variety are actually much better than you might think, because the mint produces hundreds of billions of coins every year, and despite their best efforts, errors will happen. So here's what I want you to do right now. Today, as soon as you finish watching this video, go find every penny in your house, check your jars, your drawers, your car, anywhere coins might be hiding, and start examining them carefully. Look at the dates, look for mint marks, check for doubling, look for off-center strikes, examine the color and weight, and compare any unusual-looking pennies to normal ones to see if you can spot differences. Take your time, use good lighting or a magnifying glass if you have one, and remember that the people who found these valuable coins weren't professional numismatists or experts, they were ordinary people just like you who happened to look. And if you do find something that looks unusual or potentially valuable, don't spend it, protect it in a safe place, do some research online or consult with a reputable coin dealer, and consider getting it professionally graded if it seems promising. The world of rare coins is absolutely amazing, full of stories like the ones we've shared today, stories of ordinary people discovering extraordinary wealth, and you could be the next person featured in one of these stories if you're willing to pay attention and take the time to examine your coins. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire journey, for learning about these incredible 2015 D, 1995, and 1994 D Lincoln pennies, and I hope this video has opened your eyes to the possibilities that exist right under your nose in your everyday pocket change. Remember, fortune favors the observant, and your next handful of pennies could include a treasure worth millions. You just have to be willing to look. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Stracora Coins for more amazing rare coin stories, and drop a comment below telling me if you're going to check your pennies after watching this. I'd love to hear from you. Now get out there and start searching, because your $1 million penny might be waiting to be discovered right now.